Thank you, brother. Thank you, Sergeant. The Prime Commander. We do a lot of work with personal brands in SEOL, and not brand the way you might think about it. You might be connecting it to business brand. How do we brand ourselves? But here we talk about the personal brand. What is the frequency being emitted? And I think it's pretty obvious what Ben is. It's the commander, the warrior. So it's been a wonderful weekend so far. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your bravery. And had a bit of a beautiful morning. So last evening, usually in these retreats, I'm the person who speaks about the road ahead in SEOL. What can we expect? What do we have to look forward to? I usually talk about leadership, the importance of stepping into it, the importance for men to rise to the occasion. And last evening, me and Daniel were syncing. And I said, what are you going to talk about? I said, well, I'm going to talk about the future of SEOL. The road ahead. And I was like, great. That means I have to bring something out of myself to speak about, to bring to you. And a very intimidating journey, but also a beautiful one. So as I sat down this morning, I began to think, what do the men need to hear? What can I possibly bring to an already completed, amazing weekend? So I went back to the root question that we all ask ourselves. What is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of existing? And I asked and looked inside, many answers to the question, of course. Fulfillment, happiness, peace, joy, service. There's probably as many questions as, probably not as there are people in the world. I don't think there are 8 billion answers to the question, but there are many. So I had to go within. Because if I listen out there, I might get confused. There's so many signals, so much noise. What is the meaning of life? And what came up to me, and what's been coming up to me throughout the retreats, is this: to live your personal legend. And not only to live your personal legend, but to participate fully in your epic saga. To feel it, to experience it, to explore it, to surrender, to rise up, to fall down again, and to rise up again. And by doing that, also together, weaving the saga of humanity. The story being told. The story of human beings. This beautiful little construct of consciousness which makes up a human. And so many of us. What are we doing? What's happening? So my question to you is, what is your saga? What is your unique saga? What are we looking at here? Anyone? Geometric forms. Geometric forms. Perfect answer. Adult answer. Playground. Toys. Toys. Different shapes. Different shapes. So, can we stretch it? Lots of possibilities. Lots of possibilities. Name one. Tower. The tower. I like it. Yeah. You remember the time when life was that? Life was adventure. You could play for hours, days, with a simple construct, a castle. And this was life. This was all we saw. As young men, young children, this is how we lived life. And as we've covered in the retreat, which has been the saga of the retreats, because everything is a saga. At some point, something began to happen, yeah? Someone was suggesting that, maybe tone it down a bit. Are you really sure? I remember coming in to my parents at one day, and I said, I saw a man sitting in my room. Only to hear, it's only in your imagination. I saw something. It was little. There was something there. But my parents wanted to comfort me, not make me afraid, said it's only in your imagination. And I believe this is where it gets distorted slowly. Because it's only in your imagination continues through life by suggesting you're not special. From the moment we begin in school systems, we learn that, maybe I'm not so special because I have to sit along a row with men and women or children and listen to something and learn for 12 years straight that I can't remember anything about. Learn how to memorize. Learn how to sit still. And once I'm finished, I get told to choose your path. Become happy. My parents told me, I want you to become happy. But they didn't tell me what happiness was. So how can I know? I haven't received any tools. No direction. So I can choose, but the choice becomes defined, constricted. Clear paths. Lawyer, business guy, doctor, PR guy, hairdresser. You choose based on careers, and then you evolve along the way. Ultimately, the message of society is that your existence is not important. And we fast forward to the adult life, and then to ask the question to any typical adult man, which is, what is your saga? And the saga, it becomes a saga of something along the lines of this. It's the hustle, it's the grind, search for wealth, perhaps, become rich, successful, but often connected to a lot of suffering. Be mildly happy, not too happy. Live a decent life, possibly. And this hustle and the grind and the viewpoint of life ultimately carries a deeply, deeply pessimistic view, rooted in the fact that we were once told it's only in your imagination. It's the virus leading to this. And then what is the saga of humanity? Because we're all weaving it together. Well, the saga of humanity is pretty unclear right now for most people. What's going on? A lot of that is happening. A lot of addictions, numbing the lies inside of ourselves, numbing the fact that we don't know who we are, and there seems to be no clear path, no understanding. It's the blind leading the blind. And for some, this might even feel like we're being ruled. We're being played. This is some kind of game. Exactly. It's like, am I in the control? Am I in my steering wheel here? Or am I actually in the backseat of my own life? Struggling to breathe from constriction, financial pressure, inflation. And again, it's only in your imagination. So a lack of creativity, a lack of fantasy. So the only valid question to ask yourself, well, first of all, how many can recognize themselves so far in this? Yeah? You feel this. You can't, Hugo? No? You care to share? Oh.
I think there are many opportunities that we can take.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, so not taking them is a choice, and therefore you're not being marinated.
Absolutely. I wasn't saying there wasn't any choices. I was just suggesting merely that the choices are relatively limited versus the possibility. Yeah. They're choices. I mean, we're not forced into something. We have a limited amount of options. So that's what I was suggesting. But thank you for bringing that in. So the only real question to solve this then is, how can I bring back imagination again? If that is the virus, then I need to go to the root cause. How can I restore my imagination in my cells again? And you do that by reconnecting to the mystery of life. Reconnecting with the essence, the unknown, the fantasy. Easier said than done, though, because we don't know the direction there. The best bet we have is stories. Storytelling. The first form of entertainment sex was probably the first, and music. But stories, listening into stories, is the way we have evolved. It's the way that our minds, our whole beings have shaped. So storytelling is key. And what is the...
Can I just see the one?
Oh, yeah?
This one.
By reconnecting to the mystery of life. So what is the ultimate story? Anyone have a guess?
Your own story.
Yeah, but if we think about it more conceptually, the hero's journey. The ultimate, perhaps only saga, is the hero's journey. And it follows a set of steps. Actually 12, but this one is simplified. I like that one the most. It's a person in the ordinary world, just lives his life, and then he gets the call to adventure. Something happens and he's called into an adventure. And there's a process of resisting that call, resisting the answer. Because he knows deep down that this is going to mean a very, very difficult journey. A big one. And in this, if there are 12 steps, there's only 7 now, but in the 12th step, there's also then meeting the mentor. So mentor arriving to show that this is the path. So the mentor approaches. And then the person goes to the initiation phase, where he connects and finds his mentors and his allies, goes through the trials and the tribulations. And through this process then happens a transformation. Meeting the final tests. And often there's a moment of doubt in the final tests. But the person then rises to the occasion still and finds the gold. And then brings that gold and the newfound insights and personality into himself and the world. And then it begins again. So this is the journey. And this is, of course, the journey of all of our favorite movies out there. We have Lord of the Rings, Avatar, Lion King. We have, of course, Star Wars, Harry Potter. Go Gryffindor. Go Slytherin. Who are you? So, what if this isn't just in the movies? What if this is not just something we're locating to entertainment? But what if the stories are actually about you? What if they are there to tell a story? Because every story, every inspiration that every story writer and manuscripter has comes from within. So inspiration comes from our subconscious. Why is the story being told over and over and over and over again? Because we are the hero. You are the hero. Your life is the life of Luke Skywalker. Your life is the life of Simba, of Harry Potter, of all of these heroes. It's you. It's you. No other. It's about you. And once you begin to really feel this and begin to open up and expand your viewpoints and imagination once again, then the story of humanity doesn't become what we just looked at, but it becomes an epic saga. Light and dark. The internal. Lightness, dark, dark rising, lightness out of dark comes light, back and forth and back and forth. And such is the process of life. This is the story being told over and over again. Is it true? I can sense some skepticism every here and there. I understand that. It doesn't really matter, right? The only question to ask yourself, is it useful? Is it useful to look at life as an epic saga where you are in the midst of it as the hero playing it out together with billions of other heroes? Or the other worldview, the hustle and the grind? Which saga do you prefer? What is your story? So what is your role in this saga? Who are you? What is the shape of your character? And here, there are many ways to work with. As you know, in SEOL, we work with the directions a lot. And there's a few questions to look at as a starting point. Remember, this is just a map. It's not the terrain. It's not the territory. Life is infinitely more complex. But a few pointers to look at is to first understand your purpose. Your purpose is something you are here to be, something you're here to become. Not something you do. It's ultimately can be explained as a state, a frequency that you're here to emit. And you find that purpose by looking at its counterpart, which is the shadow. Your purpose is one thing that you have, and it evolves throughout your life. And once you are there, your only thing to really be is that. Walk around, affect everyone with that purpose. We're coming into the mission, something you're here to do. It's time-bound, and it's something you are doing. We have the innate archetype and the developed archetype. Your innate archetype is dependent, or can be seen as a synthesis of all of your talents that you were born with. All of us came into this life with predefined, already existing talents that we just happen to do easily. Others find them hard. This comes a list. Some people are sympathetic. Others are empathetic. Some people are organized. Some people are charismatic. Some people are diplomatic. Some people are great mathematicians, so on and so forth. Your essence is what you're coming into this life with. And then also your developed archetype is things that you have had to learn along the way. Through hardship, through studies, through work and experience. Getting clear on these is a major, major starting point to understand your role. And is ultimately one of the essences of the journey of SEOL. To help a man understand this and live it. Live it fully. Not playing small. This ultimately becomes your personal legend. And when you live it fully, it becomes your brand. So bringing it back to where we started it, your personal brand. Is the energetic signal that you broadcast when you're aligned with your highest frequency. It shows through your voice, your actions, and your way of being. It's the impact you make without masks or performance. It's you being you, doing you. Your brand is a message you are. It's not the message you speak. And why does this matter? Why does it matter for me to find my personal brand? This is a map We're not going to go heavy into it. But ultimately, this is the map of consciousness. David R. Hawkins, over 20 years, did a lot of research based on a technology called kinesiology, which is a way to use the muscles of the body to test whether something is true or not. And this in itself is a whole presentation. So I'm not going to go heavy into it. I'm bringing it in here to just explain something. What he did after 250,000 calibrations was that he learned that the different states that we feel have a certain frequency. Yeah? The lowest of frequencies is shame. It's the one that is closest to death. It should be death here, which is 0. Shame is intimately linked to a sense of wanting to eliminate yourself. When you're shamed, you feel like you don't deserve to exist. And as you can see here, all of these feelings inside of you, you all have in you. Guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, courage. Ultimately, what we see here is your energetic constitution is the mixture of them. How much shame do you feel inside of yourself? How much guilt? So through inner development work and through the process of knowing thyself, working with yourself, you go downwards. Often personal development work is seen as light upwards. Ultimately, remember the story, through darkness comes light. What we're doing is diving downwards, looking at these aspects of ourselves. How much shame is inside of me? And once you bring that piece home, it transmutes. You get a little less of shame, and slowly but surely you work your way upwards. Now, the final piece on this is why, like looking at these scales, does it matter much to have 175 or 310? What does it all mean? Suggestion is that it's a logarithmic scale, meaning it's base 10. So a person who would be 100% in love has the possibility of counterbalancing 750,000 people whose constitution is lower than 200. And you see here as we go upwards. So it's a massive, massive effect on the world. All the work you're doing here. Every man, through this retreat alone, you have delved into aspects of this, brought pieces home, liberated them, and allowed for more of that. What I want to say with all of this is that you matter deeply. The work you do really matters. So where do you begin? Know thyself. That's the process. And how do I know myself? How do I figure out who I am? A man cannot complete himself in isolation. He becomes himself through the brotherhood that sharpens him. The age of the lone wolf and the story of the lone wolf is built in as a mechanism to make us weak. They say for a man to get to know himself, he needs to spend 2 years in circle with other men, sharing everything about himself. His longings, his dreams, his hope, his fears. And after 2 years, he walks up to each man and asks, who am I? Tell me. And that's how you get to know yourself. Find your alliance. Find your men who want to go on this journey with you. Find men who want to stand there and see you for everything that you are, in all of your depth, all of your darkness and all of your power and light. Reconnect to your inner child. Specific tools and tricks and modalities to work with your inner child. That person is still inside of you. That person who felt this childlike wonder exists. He might be a bit pissed off because you've been neglecting him. Could be as well. Live your epic saga. It's your highest responsibility and obligation as a man if you're serious about making this world a better place. Live the saga, live the personal legend. Your adventure awaits. So that you can go on your mission with your men, choosing to see it in that way, choosing to see it in this way. What story is going to be for you? Thank you, brothers. You. The results of our creation.